What's up, 18? Welcome to another episode of InTheNet, a series where I'll talk about interesting stories from the World Wide Web. In this episode, we will be talking about mobile phones. As we all know, phone equals bad and book equals good. But sometimes, phone can equals good too, as is the case with this story I'm about to tell. Aside from being used as a throwing device in a niche competition in Finland, mobile phones also have other uses. So, in this video, let me tell you a beautiful story of how a phone connected two people from different places.
Well, duh, isn't that like the reason why phones were invented in the first place?
Okay, hear me out. What if I told you that these people didn't know each other before?
That still doesn't make it any more impressive. I mean, I've talked with strangers on Twitter before. It's basically the same thing, right?
Well, actually, there's a lot more to the story than that. Like a lot more. Look, just trust me on this one, okay? Last episode, I talked about the story of Ben Innes, a man who became famous for his photo with a plain high-tacker. The subject of today's story is someone who also became famous from a photo, or in this case, a bunch of photos. So, without further ado, this is the story of Brother Orange. Let's introduce our first character in the story, Matt Stopera. Matt is a man of many interests. He's a big Britney Spears fan.
My name's Matt, and we're in Schenectady, New York, and I am the biggest Britney fan in the whole entire world, and in the universe too.
Interviewer of many famous celebrities, and also the writer and deputy editorial director at BuzzFeed. Since joining the company in August 2008, Matt has written thousands of articles for the site, such as 11 Reasons Why You Should Never Eat a Horse, Club Penguin music videos, and Who is This Man and Why whoa, we're getting way too ahead here. Let me finish this chapter first, okay? As someone who has a career in the online space, Matt has met a lot of famous people and done a lot of cool things. But all of that paled in comparison to what was about to unfold. February 2014. It begins in a bar called East Village Social, located in New York City. After finishing their work, Matt and his fellow co-workers decided to get drinks and hang out at this bar. While chit-chatting and drunk drinking, Matt decided to put his iPhone on the table. A few minutes passed, he tried to grab his phone, and that's when he realized that his phone was missing. He panicked and asked everyone to help him find it. One of his friends tried to call his phone, and it went straight to voicemail. At that point, Matt realized that his phone had been stolen, and there was nothing he could do about it. So the next day, Matt immediately bought a new iPhone because he needed it for work. And that's about it. Matt moved on from the incident and continued on with his life. But it wasn't until a year later that something strange happened to his phone. February 5th, 2015. It was a pretty regular day so far. Matt was browsing through Instagram and deciding what to post today. When he was checking his photo stream, he noticed something. He noticed an influx of random pictures in this gallery that he didn't remember taking, and there were a lot of them. Particularly, there's an abundance of orange tree photos, and also selfies of someone in front of those trees. This raises some questions in Matt's head. What the crap is this? Did my phone get hacked? Who is this person? Ultimately, he didn't do anything about it and kind of just let it be. But then the photos kept coming and coming and coming, and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. This continued on for a while and eventually became a common topic of conversation with friends, until one day he brought it up to one of his co-workers, who responded with an interesting question.
Has your phone been stolen lately?
Matt said yes, and they said,
You know that most stolen phones end up in China, right?
This made him realize something. It turns out that Matt never fully killed his old iPhone, so his current iCloud account is still synced to it. So now he's getting all of those photos from that phone, which is now being used by someone in China. Bingo. So the next day, he went to the Apple store to properly deactivate the phone. After that, he went home and decided to write an article about it, thinking it would make for an interesting read. So, on February 18th, a new article was published on BuzzFeed titled, "Who is this man and why are his photos showing up on my phone?" That night, he went to bed, not thinking too much about what happened. So, that's the end of the story, right? Well, spoiler alert, it's not. Before we continue, let's take a detour to China and introduce our second character, Li Hongjin. At the time, Li was an ordinary middle-aged man who lived in a small town called Meizhou. He is a family man with 4 children whom he loves dearly. He is also an entrepreneur who has done various things over the years to make a living, such as selling household items, starting a small metalworking factory, and opening a floating restaurant ship, all of which did not go as well as he had hoped. Then, around August 2014, he tried to open another restaurant in his hometown. Sometime after the opening, he went to his nephew's cell phone store in Shenzhen. His original plan was to buy a new phone to help his business, but his nephew was kind enough to give him an iPhone for free. This second-hand iPhone was imported from Hong Kong, and it seems that there are still files and photos that weren't deleted. Fast forward to early 2015. The Spring Festival is just around the corner, and lots of people are busy doing spring cleaning and preparation, including Lee, who decided to buy some oranges for his restaurant. If you didn't know, oranges are considered a symbol of good fortune or good luck in Chinese traditions. That's why you see a lot of them during Chinese New Year. Anyway, he went to an orange grove, and while looking at the trees, he was mesmerized by the bright color of the oranges, and he decided to take pictures of them. He also took some selfies in front of those trees. After that, he bought some oranges and went back to his place. The photos were just sitting there in the gallery. Some days later, his phone suddenly stopped working. He was wondering why this happened. I mean, he knew that it was a second-hand phone, but why would it break so quickly? Oh well, it is what it is, and Lee just moved on since he has other important things to do. But on the first day of the Spring Festival, something happened. His nephew called him at 9 o'clock in the morning and told Lee that a lot of people were sharing his photos on Weibo and were looking for him. He was so confused by what his nephew said at the time until his nephew showed him what happened and learned about the whole story. So, what actually happened? Let's head back to the United States. A day has passed and the sun has risen. Matt had just woken up from his sleep and decided to check his Twitter. He was surprised to find out that his messages were full of new accounts. These accounts were not one of those cat in biology spam bots. These were real accounts of Chinese netizens informing him that his article has gone absolutely viral on Weibo, aka Chinese Twitter, or Chinese X if you want to call it that. Apparently, someone came across Matt's article and decided to translate it into Chinese and share it on Weibo, where it quickly went viral. And now, Chinese netizens were trying to help him track down this orange tree man. These people believe that Matt and this person are long-lost brothers, and they need to meet immediately. So, Chinese netizens were using their human flash search engine skill, aka doxing, to find this person. And sure enough, a few hours later, they managed to find him. And, surprise surprise, it was Li Hongjin.
We got him.
Turns out, his nephew saw that story and decided to help the search by posting pictures of Lee and his phone. After the discovery, one of Weibo employees reached out to Matt and helped him make a new Weibo account. In just a few minutes, he instantly got hundreds and thousands of followers. Even his name got #1 trending on the platform. Then, Lee also decided to join Weibo and also got hundreds and thousands of followers. From there, Lee learned that Chinese netizens gave him the nickname Uncle Orange, but he preferred to be called Brother Orange instead. So, Matt and Brother Orange finally met for the first time through Weibo. They both started talking there, albeit a little awkward because 1, they have a massive language barrier, and 2, they literally just met for the first time. Slowly but surely, they started to feel comfortable with each other. They exchanged messages for a while, until a few days later, when Matt asked the big question.
I would love to come visit you soon. What do you think?
A few minutes later, Bro replied back with a formal invitation. Matt, upon getting this invitation, immediately accepted it and became very excited. This was Matt's chance to meet Brother Orange in person, and it would also be his first time going to China, so he couldn't waste this opportunity. Thus, he got permission from his boss and he will be leaving America next month. His original plan was to visit China on March 5th, but due to the late visa approval, he changed the date to March 18th. During these 2 weeks of downtime, Matt was doing all kinds of stuff on Weibo, like chatting with Brother Orange, interacting with fans, being an English teacher.
Today's English lesson: eggs, orange juice, tomato, bread, water, honey.
And also making content videos on Vine.
5 days!
And then, the long-awaited date has arrived, and it's time for Matt to go to China. Going from New York to Meiju will take around 20 hours total, so it'll be a while before he gets to meet Brother Orange. In the meantime, during one of his connecting flights, he got his first taste of fame. When Matt was sitting in his seat, a woman approached him and started fangirling. He was quite shocked by this as he had never been recognized before, but he kept his coolness and interacted with this person. She even gave him a fan letter. How sweet. What he didn't know was that this little interaction was just a warm-up for what awaited him after he got off the plane.
Oh my god, there's a camera.
Did you see the camera over there?
Turns out there's already a huge crowd of people waiting for Matt. Reporters, photographers, Weibo fans, you name it. Do you know who else was waiting for him?
Oh my god, Brother Orange! Hey! So nice to meet you!
I come to China.
Yeah, thank you!
I come to Meiju.
Thank you so much!
There are a lot of things happening here and it gets chaotic very quickly. So, they left the airport and got escorted to a car. During the drive to Meiju, they started talking to their translators. Bro explained to Matt that he also got a lot of random pictures on his phone, which turned out to be from, you guessed it, Matt's current iPhone. He didn't think so much about it and just kept deleting them afterward. There could have been an alternate universe where Brother Orange is the one who decided to write a story about it on Weibo. Anyway, over the next week, Matt and Brother Orange went to many places and did a lot of activities. On the second day, they both went to Bro's restaurant to do a ceremony for Matt's arrival in Meiju, where they planted an orange tree to signify their Chinese-American friendship. After that, they had some lunch together, went to a famous football player's house, and took mud baths together. A friendly reminder that they did all of this while being chased by the paparazzi who were trying to capture and record everything, which made most of their activity extra awkward. And yes, that includes the intimate mud bath. On the third day, they held a press conference at a hotel with reporters, cameras, and also fans. During this, a fan asked Matt if he could dance, and so he did exactly that. New Fortnite emote confirmed? Anyway, after the press conference, they left the hotel with their Matt and Bro themed vehicles, had another lunch while promoting a lot of Chinese products by accident, taking pictures with the fans and their babies, and other things. This going to random places and getting followed by the press cycle continues into the 4th and 5th days. Another friendly reminder that all of this happened just because Matt lost his iPhone a year ago. It's really wild, but it also gets overwhelming. So on the 6th day, Matt and Brother Orange had enough of their attention and asked all the reporters to leave. They both decided that they needed some space and time to relax in Meiju, and Bro also wanted to share what things in his hometown were important to him. So he showed Matt his restaurant, his childhood house, his childhood climbing tree, and other things that were very close to him. After that, they held a ceremony for Lee's ancestors. He talked about his past and also told Matt about his rough experience for the past couple of years. Both of his parents passed away 3 years prior, and he had some bad luck with the restaurant, so this whole journey was kind of a blessing for him. Lee personally opening up to Matt made him feel a relief, and this moment made Matt feel like he was part of Lee's family. They were no longer strangers to each other. Now, they are brothers. Then the 7th day came. This was supposed to be the day when Matt parted ways with Brother Orange and went to Beijing on his own. But at the last minute, Bro bought a ticket to Beijing, so they could still be together for a few more days. Aww. So on the 8th day, Matt and Bro visited many places in Beijing, including Tiananmen Square and Weibo headquarters, the social media that started it all. And then, the final day has come. The trip to China is over, and Matt has to go back to America. So, he and Brother Orange went to the Beijing airport together. He walked Matt right up to the gate, said their goodbyes, and hugged each other. Matt went back to New York while Brother Orange went back to Meizhou, and they continued living their lives as usual, wondering when they could see each other again. Okay, that must be the actual end of the story, right? Well, as we learned by now, nothing is ever truly over. I mean, since Matt's already been to China, it only makes sense that Brother Orange would visit America next, right? It doesn't take long for Brother Orange to return the favor. So, on April 14th, after 14 hours of flight, Brother Orange set foot in America for the first time. Bro was not alone, however, as he was accompanied by his nephew, who was now working as his manager. When he arrived at Los Angeles International Airport, he was greeted by Matt himself. There weren't many paparazzis this time, which was both a relief and expected, since intercontinental friendships aren't something out of the ordinary in America. Anyway, they left the airport and went to a classic American place as Bro's first introduction to the country. What was it? It's InTheNet, baby! Just as Matt was introduced to many Chinese dishes, the same happened for Bro, who got to try various American foods throughout the trip, like avocado, salsa, Taco Bell, vegan foods, margaritas, and even string cheese.
神众很喜欢，以后这个可以这样子，哎，其实牛奶味道太浓了。
All classic American cuisines. He also experienced various American activities, like visiting BuzzFeed, watching car chases on TV, going to the beach, and shopping at Target. But that's not all. You see, there's actually another reason why Brother Orange visited the United States. Sometime after the China trip, Matt and Bro got an email from a representative of a famous talk show host who wanted to invite them to their show. It's not Jimmy Kimmel, nor is it Eric Andre. It's actually Ellen DeGeneres.
Is the Queen of Nice really the Queen of Me?
So, Matt and Bro went to the Ellen DeGeneres show, where they basically talk about things already talked about for the past 17 minutes. It was a really cool experience for both of them. After that, Matt and Bro went to Las Vegas because they were invited to another show, this time from Planet Hollywood, who offered them 2 tickets to see a famous singer that Matt is very fond of. Yeah, it's Britney, bitch. Yes, Matt and Bro went to a Britney Spears concert where they were given a VIP treatment. They were allowed access backstage, met Britney herself, and Matt even participated on the stage. After that, they went to New York to meet Matt's family and introduce Bro to his hometown. They visited so many places and did so many things here. There are too many to list. So long story short, Matt basically does all the things that Brother Orange did for him in China, with some exceptions obviously. Anyway, 10 days have passed, and it's time for Brother Orange to leave and go back to China. But this time, unlike the time before, Matt knows not to assume it's over, because this is a story that refuses to ever end. Just a few days after Bro's trip, Matt went back to China for the second time because he and Bro were invited to a TV show called Day Day Up. It's a really popular live talk show that was aired on Hunan TV, which is also one of the most popular TV channels in China. This opportunity was too good to pass up, so they both went to the studio, got their makeup done, rehearsed their lines, and practiced their singing. Before the segment starts, the show shows a little intro where you can see Matt and Bro in the same room pretending to text each other for some reason. Then, it's time for them to join the stage and... it went pretty well. Matt greeted the audience in Chinese.
Hello, China, Momo Da! Woohoo!
Talk about their experiences, joke with the host, and did karaoke together. During the whole segment, Matt had no idea what was going on, so he just went with the flow and had fun with Bro. They ended the show with a dance party to Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. It was a crazy shoot. After the show, Matt did one more interview and spent the rest of the trip hanging out with Bro. After that, there's not a lot going on for both of them. As is often the case with internet stories, the hype eventually fades out and both of them return to their normal lives. They still keep in touch with each other, occasionally post on Weibo, and visit its other places. The difference is that now there's no attention from the paparazzi or the media in general. Speaking of the media, there have been talks about the entertainment industry adapting this story into 2 movies. Yes, not just 1, but 2 movies were planned to be made. The first one was supposed to be a biopic, produced by BuzzFeed and Flagship Entertainment. This was originally going to be BuzzFeed Motion Pictures' first film project, and it was reported that Matt will be executive producing the project alongside others. It was also reported that Tim Parsons, the guy from Bazinga, was enlisted to play the role of Matt Stopera in the biopic. The movie, according to the Hollywood Report, will focus on an unlikely accidental friendship that transcended cultural divides. This could have been a great thing, but since then, there hasn't been any update on the biopic, so it's safe to assume that it was quietly cancelled. That sounds familiar. The second planned movie was supposed to be a documentary, also produced by BuzzFeed. This time a trailer was made and uploaded on BuzzFeed's social media, but has since been removed. The Brother Orange documentary trailer is lost media? Well, looks like we got ourselves a lost media case here. Oops, never mind, I managed to find the trailer on some random Chinese website. Case closed, I guess. Well, if you want an actual lost media case, look no further than the Brother Orange app. This was a fan-made game about Brother Orange, made by the fans from Brazil. The link for the app was shared on Bro's Twitter, but when you click the link, it shows you this connecting page, and it will just keep connecting and refuses to load. So this one is actually lost, and I couldn't find anything other than Bro's tweet. So, if you guys are interested in hunting lost media, then this is a good place to start. Your help is greatly appreciated. Anyway, as I said a few paragraphs ago, Matt and Bro have returned to their everyday life while also keeping in touch with each other. So, that means the story has finally ended, right? I guess we'll never know. Back in 2012, Matt Stopera did an interview with a Tumblr page. How did you get that job? In this interview, Matt talks about his past experiences with employment and how he got accepted at BuzzFeed. When asked about a job he would never want, he said,
It's not really a job, but I would never want to be famous. Famous people are crazy and they live under a microscope. I want to be rich, not famous.
And 3 years later, well, we already know what happened. Throughout these adventures, Matt and Bro have grown really close together. Even with language barriers and cultural differences, these 2 strangers managed to find a way to understand each other. Their communication may be limited, but their connections are not. Around the internet, you'll see people expressing how crazy and mind-blowing this story is, while also commenting how sweet and inspiring it is at the same time. That's actually such a beautiful story. The world is crazy. Lol, Brother Orange was so welcoming. What a strange story. This is such a sweet story. I need my own Brother Orange. Bro's Orange started busting everywhere. Wait, what the oh, never mind. I forgot that I was watching this Bayashi video. Bounce on my boys kumquat 3 to this, and post. Anyway, whenever there's an insane story like this, it's always fun to think about the various what-ifs that could have happened. What if no one cares to read Matt's article? What if his phone ended up in someone else's hand instead of Liz? What if Matt's phone was never stolen in the first place? We can spend all day theorizing about this, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that things happened the way they did, and that these seemingly random jigsaw pieces managed to fit perfectly with each other. Brother Orange is a story that sounds a lot like a fairy tale. 2 strangers who are destined to become best friends due to strange circumstances. It sounds like the plot of
Insert Disney Pixar movie here.
but it's not. This could have been just another regular story of a lost phone, but fate and destiny say otherwise. Maybe that's why this story resonates with a lot of people, because, unlike most fairy tales, this one was real.
It looks, from the way you've described it, that it was really hard to leave Brother Orange by the end of your trip.
This is one of the hardest things for me to explain because a lot of people have, did you really become friends with Brother Orange?
And it's one of those things that we went through this experience together, and I bring it back to a big part was this Chinese idea of fate and destiny. And you can't help but understand that and really believe in that at the end of this trip, that, you know, this whole thing was kind of meant to be.
Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.